Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And this time I want to talk to you a little bit about one of my newer acquisitions. This one is actually a fragrance by Andy Tauer. It's part of his line called Tauerville, and it's called Amber Flash. Now here's the bottle, and this is a very small bottle, rather simple, very minimalist. The fragrance was released in 2015, and the perfumer is, of course, Andy Tauer. Now, Andy Tauer has done a bunch of scents. He has done a bunch of scents, part of a classic collection, and they are numbered. So they're like number 1, number 2, number 3, and the most popular from that line is, of course, L'air du Desert Marocain. Most recently, he has released a line called Tauerville, and these are much quicker, much more fast-paced, sort of whimsical scents, and they're just named after the primary ingredient. So this one is amber. There's an incense flash, which I also own. There's a vanilla flash as well, which I've gotten my nose on. Kind of reminds me of Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. That one I absolutely love. I need to get a bottle of that in my collection. So today I'm actually going to be talking about the most recent one, which is Amber Flash. Now I think he named it Flash because it's almost like he released it in a flash, right? Like they're coming out much more quickly. So I really like these releases. I like what they have to offer, and I like the simplicity in them, but this one is rich. It's not simple. So let's start off by taking a look at the presentation. So the presentation for this one is very minimalist. You have the large A, Amber Flash, name here in the front, size and concentration at the bottom, more information at the very bottom, no serial number, none that I am able to locate, nothing at the back, Tauerville logo at the top. And as far as the bottle goes, here it is. Really nice bottle, logo, name, size, concentration, sticker at the bottom, same information. Cap fits on there very snugly. The sprayer is very good in terms of the distribution, no slouch. And that was a presentation for Amber Flash by Tauerville. One of my subscribers, Aaron, writes, I like ambers, and this one is pretty heavy. Warms me up in these cooler months. Good stuff. Charles writes, I tested this. Nice amber scent. I already own Amber Absolute and a few other ambers. This one arrives a little late. For those wanting to add an amber to their wardrobe, I highly recommend. And King concludes by writing, great amber scent, but potent. I would rate it a 9 out of 10. So what do you get when you spray this one on your hand? Immediately, as its namesake, this one is an amber-based scent, and you are going to get a lot of amber. You're going to get a combination of different resins. Of course, there's benzoin, and there's a lot of labdanum. I think the labdanum in here is what makes comparisons to Bois d'Armine, which is a Guerlain scent, part of the L'Art et la Matière collection. Annick Minard actually composed that one. She's one of my favorite perfumers, and I love that fragrance, even though I still don't have a bottle of it in my collection. But this one does remind me a lot of that, and it's because it utilizes some sweet resins in addition to vanilla. So you're going to get a really rich, resinous dry down, and that's exactly what is implied by the name. That's what you're going to get. It's a very simplistic, very honest and organic scent. Of course, I think the strongest resin is labdanum because it kind of gives me that oriental, not in the sense of the genre, but in sense of how it smells, that sort of exotic type of ambery scent. It's not a dry amber, but it's a rather rich, dense, sweet amber. And there's a nice benzoin note utilized in the dry down too. I believe it's Styrax, I could be wrong, but it reminds me a lot of the benzoin note that's used in Poivre 23 by Le Labo. It's really rich, not so much in your face, but it has a distinct smell to it. In addition to that, there's a little bit of patchouli in here too. I'm not getting a lot of it. It's really just the amber that's very straightforward. And he's released a few other amber scents in his collection as well. Of course, L'air du Desert Marocain is an amber. It has amber in it. And there are some other scents that utilize the accord of amber, but I think this one is the best amber. I love L'air du Desert Marocain. I think it definitely is my favorite scent from that collection, even though I also like Incense Rose and Vetiver Dance. But I think whereas that's the best from that line, this could possibly be the best from this line. I think Incense Flash has kind of like a leathery smell. It takes some getting used to. And I think the vanilla one is also amazing. It reminds me a lot of Tobacco Vanille. But for that reason, it might be a little bit redundant, even though I still need to get a bottle of it in my collection. This one might be the best offering yet. The one that I would highly recommend you check out. If you want a bottle of something in your collection, this is definitely one that I would recommend. Performance is great, and as far as compliment factor goes, I haven't really gotten a compliment with this one. I feel like it might be just a little bit on the daring side because it uses some unconventional notes, or in a quantity, I should say, that's unconventional, because I think there are a lot of designer scents on the market that have the note of amber in it, but just the degree of which it is used in this scent is just a little bit too much, or it might be too much for some people. And I think that's attributed to the reason why I haven't received compliments with this one. But overall, I think the scent is absolutely amazing, and it's one of my favorite amber-based scents in my collection, right next to Allen Bar by Laboratorio Olfativo. Let's finish things off by taking a look at the rating. First up, we're going to take a look at uniqueness and overall smell, and this is a unique scent. I did make a comparison with another Guerlain fragrance, but at the end of the day, this one really stands out among others in the competition, especially if you're looking at fragrances in the designer range. Overall smell is a rather pleasant one. I've yet to meet somebody who doesn't like the smell of amber. I think it's a very rich and warm and cozy and inviting aroma. So I think the smell is a really good one. However, it's a strong one, so it might be a little bit too much for some people. As far as longevity goes, I get 8+ hours, so it's above average. Teetering on the excellent range, but not quite there. Doesn't necessarily cross that threshold. Projection on this one is above average as well, not excellent. You will get noticed if somebody is within an arm's length of you in the first couple hours of application. It does sit a little bit closer to the skin, but it doesn't become a skin scent at about the 6th to 7th hour of application, I want to say. As far as versatility goes, it's average. I'm not going to say it's above average. I think that you can wear this one in the colder weather just because of the performance and the smell and what it evokes. I wouldn't wear this one in the spring and summer. This one, age range, I think anybody can wear it, but I would recommend 25 and up. High school, teen, I don't think it would work as well for somebody like that, but I do find this one to be completely unisex. And as far as presentation goes, the presentation is pretty good. It's very minimalist. There isn't much to say about it. But if I were to give this fragrance an overall score, I would give it an 8 out of 10. And the reason being is that amber is one of my favorite accords in fragrances, just because it comes across so rich and warm and cozy and inviting. And this fragrance is no exception. I think in some ambers, it's rather dry and harsh. Sometimes it could be medicinal. Sometimes it could be animalistic. Sometimes it could be paired up with some unorthodox notes that might turn people off, or it might be too cloying for some people. But I think this one is really well done, very well executed, and I think it was, deliberated upon quite well, despite the fact that it was produced in a flash. So I think, Andy Tauer, you did a fantastic job with this one. It's definitely my favorite so far from this line. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you own or have tried Amber Flash by Tauerville, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to rate and subscribe for future videos. So once again, everyone, thank you very much for watching. This has been Steven with another fragrance review from Redolessence. We'll see you very soon.